up, you guys? It's your girl Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the LSAT, okay? I have a bunch of you guys on here who are thinking about going to law school to become lawyers. And as many of you guys already know, most law schools require that you take the LSAT in order to be admitted into the law school. So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about what the LSAT is and, just some information regarding the LSAT. And then I'm going to tell you about an LSAT prep course, and I'm going to be giving away one free LSAT prep course to one of you guys. So we'll talk about how to enter the giveaway and everything later in the video. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what is the LSAT. The LSAT stands for Law School Admissions Test. Think SAT and ACT for when you want to get into college. The LSAT is one of the primary determining factors of whether you're admitted into a law school or not. The LSAT is administered by the Law School Admissions Council. In this video, we're going to be referring to it as the LSAC, okay? So when I say LSAC, I'm talking about the Law School Admissions Council. So many people will ask how important the LSAT is. In my opinion, it's very important. Like I said already, most law schools require that you take the LSAT and submit scores in order to be considered for admission into their law schools. Now, there are some schools who are leaning towards letting you take other exams, primarily the GRE, but most law schools are going to require that you take the LSAT. And most importantly, the LSAT is weighted heavily in the admissions decisions. So basically, the better score you get in the LSAT, the better chances you are going to have to get into the school that you desire. So the LSAT is essentially a test that is designed to test your skills in reading, comprehension, analytical skills. And the reason why this is because those are the skills you're going to learn and develop in law school and in the practice of law. The reason why I say intent is there has been studies about tests like these that have inherent bias. So while that is the intention to test these skills, it doesn't necessarily always ring true for everyone. You will hear a lot from, law schools and the LSAC. Is the reason why the LSAT is weighted heavily is because it is a predictor of how you will do in law school. Well, that's arguable. You hear lots of times about people who just are not good test takers or didn't have the best LSAT score and they did wonderful in law school. I am actually one of those people, but nevertheless, that is the intent of the test. One thing that's important to note that is relevant for now during these pandemic times and will probably be relevant for at least another year or two is the LSAC is currently administering what they call the LSAT Flex, which is a completely online, at-home based LSAT exam. This is obviously due to the pandemic. And so right now, that is how the LSAT is being administered. I'll go into a little bit more detail about dates and stuff later in the video. So the LSAT consists of two parts, okay? The first part is a series of multiple choice questions, and then the second part is a written exam. Let's talk about the multiple choice section. There are three parts to the multiple choice section. And so the format of the test has recently changed. So I'm just going to talk about these three sections because I don't think those three sections will change. However, the weight of each section is bound to change as it has changed as a result of the pandemic and is likely to shift back to something else later. By weight, I just mean the percentage that each section counts towards your total score. So there are three parts: the analytical reasoning, also known as the logic games, the logical reasoning, and reading comprehension. Now, analytical reasons are most people's worst nightmares. I know I did not like the games, you guys. I did not like the logic games. Most people don't. They're just not intuitive. But basically, this section will consist of 4 sets of rules that you'll have to use to apply to different questions within this section. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to give you guys some information where you can kind of play around with the LSAT prep course that I'm going to talk about for a period of time so you can see how the games work. Now, this section will have approximately 23 questions. So those 4 sets of rules I was talking about will be referred to as games, and each game will have 5 to 7 sections. Now, like I said, this is probably the most daunting one for me, but if you look at different LSAT prep courses, many will say that this is the easiest to master because it doesn't necessarily test knowledge, okay? And this section, along with other sections, are 35 minutes each section. So the LSAT is a time test, and each section will be timed. Okay, so the next section is logical reasoning. This section will consist of a short reading passage or some sort of fact pattern that you'll have to read and then answer questions about it. This section will test your ability to evaluate, analyze, and examine facts and arguments. All right, so the last section in this first part is reading comprehension. And this one was my favorite, the easiest one to me, just because it's a little bit similar to what we're used to seeing in standardized tests that we took in school and, the SAT and ACT. In law school, you're going to do a lot of reading, okay? The reading will be dense, it will be long, and it won't be, necessarily the easiest to understand right off bat. Okay, so this section is testing your reading skills. It's testing your ability to read these long and complex passages. Within this section, there will be 4 passages. 3 of those sections will be long reading fact pattern or passages, and then the 4th section will be 2 shorter ones. And you'll have to answer questions for each of the 4. Now, while this is probably the most familiar type of question you will see, it's different in the fact that it focuses more on structure and arguments within those passages. Now, there's one more section I want to talk within this first part of the multiple choice LSAT, and that is the unscored section. So the LSAT will throw in an unscored section. It could be any of the 3 types of LSAT multiple choice questions. You won't know, it'll be kind of at random. So the only purpose of this unscored section is to really just test out new test questions. Now, as a result of the pandemic and the implementation of the LSAT Flex, this unscored section was taken out of the LSAT Flex. However, starting, I believe, in August 2021, this unscored section will resume in all the LSATs moving forward. Okay, so the second part of the LSAT is the written exam. And you guys, I have good news about this written exam. There's not a lot of pressure because it is ungraded, okay? It's ungraded and you can take it prior to taking the multiple choice portion of the LSAT. So you have up to 8 days prior to taking the LSAT to take the written portion of the exam. And you can take it at home. It's administered online. Essentially, with the written exam, it's 35 minutes long. You will get a fact pattern that will present you with some issues, and you'll have to argue both sides of the issues. With the written exam, it's not really about whether you have the right answer. They just kind of want to see your ability to argue both sides and analyze things and present your arguments, which is exactly what you'll be doing once you get to law school. So it's good practice. All right, so now that we know a little bit about what the LSAT consists of, let's talk about when and where do you take the LSAT. So of course you have to register to take the LSAT in advance to your actual LSAT date. You will register with the LSAT, and I'll make sure to leave their website down below because this is where I got most of the information. I wanted to make sure my information was very up to date because there have been a lot of changes. Okay, so prior to the pandemic, you would take the LSAT in person. Once the pandemic hit, they did roll out the LSAT Flex, which you take at home in the comfort of your own home. Now, LSAC doesn't currently have any plans to resume in-person testing, but it is looking like at some point they probably will resume in-person live exams, but we'll just have to wait and see what they do. With respect to when to take the LSAT, you should definitely take it, with much advance prior to attending law school. So you give yourself plenty of time to have your scores, any retakes you might want to do in order to present it in your application package to law school. So if you plan to go to law school right after college, I would suggest you take it in your junior or senior year of college, okay? If you're gonna take a gap year or 2, then obviously you have a little bit more time to take the LSAT. All right, the next thing we're gonna go to is how is the LSAT scored and what is a good score on the LSAT? So the LSAT is scored based on a scale between 120 and 180, with 120 being the lowest score you can get and 180 being a perfect score. So your LSAT is based on the number of questions you get right, okay? That is called your raw score. The LSAT does not count it against you if you get any answers wrong. So always answer every question, even if you need to guess, because you get no penalty for answering a question wrong. It's just based on what you got right. Now, as you guys know, the LSAT is administered in different places. And so in order to maintain consistency and fairness, the LSAT does grade the raw score against a scaled score, okay? So essentially they came up with a scaled score so that you would be protected from unfair, competition. So if I took the test, today and somebody else took it at a different place and that test was harder, you want to be able to true the person up who had the harder test. So that's why it's graded on a scale score. Don't worry about that. All you need to worry about is getting the most answers right you can, and they'll figure out the rest. And on your score report, they will give you your scale score. So let's talk about what is a good score. So obviously the best score you can get is a 180. That's a perfect score. And then the lowest you can get is a 120. The average score people get on the LSAT is 152. I won't really tell you what a great score is, but I will say is the higher your score, the better chances you have to get into the better schools, okay? So if you score, say, a 170, your chances of getting into most of the schools that you want to get into are going to be way up there. You get a 160, you get a 165, you're going to be able to get in some pretty good schools. You start getting in the 150s, your opportunities kind of wane a little bit, but you still got opportunities for, decent schools. But basically you get the gist. The better you score, the more opportunities you have. So I do think it's important for when you do prepare for the exam and take the exam, you do have a score in mind that you set a goal for, because I'm just a firm believer in setting goals to reach. It really helps you stay motivated to reach that goal. So what you might do is look into the schools that you are interested in and see what kind of scores most people need to get in order to get in that school, and base your goal score around there. So one thing I did want to address is how long scores last for. So you can use your current year score, obviously, and then any score within the previous 5 years of the current year. So just keep that in mind for when you take the exam versus when you apply. Also, one thing to note is LSAT does provide a score preview for first-time test takers, okay? What this basically lets you do is you can see what you got. It's called a score preview, and you can see that score to decide whether you want to keep it and have it reported to law schools, or you're like, nope, I don't like that score. Let's nix it. This is my first time. Give me another chance to start over. There is a fee for that, but you can get that waived, and we'll talk about waivers a little bit later. All right, so here's the golden question. How many times can you take the LSAT? There are actually specific requirements regarding how many times you can take the LSAT, so we'll get into that. But one thing I do want to say is it is not uncommon for people to retake the LSAT. I would say the number one reason for most people retaking the LSAT is so they can try to get a higher score, which I'm all for it. So let's talk about how many times you can take it. So you can take the LSAT 3 times within a single testing year. The testing year begins on June 1st and ends on May 31st. Then you can take the LSAT 5 times within your current testing year and 5 years previous to that. So 5 times within the last 5 years in the current year. Then they have a lifetime limit, okay? You can only take the LSAT 7 times in a total lifetime. Another common question along with retaking is whether law schools will see all your scores or not, and whether it'll count against you. So the law schools will see all the scores that you have. So if you took the LSAT 3 times, didn't do the score preview for the first one, they will see all 3 scores. However, they will only use their highest score for admission purposes. So not much to be worried about there. Another thing I want to cover is how much the LSAT costs, how much it costs to take the LSAT, the exam. So the exam, as of the date of this video, is $200. However, LSAT does offer fee waivers. Now, there are a number of things you have to meet in order to be eligible for a fee waiver, which you can check out on the LSAT website. That fee waiver will cover 2 LSAT exams along with some other fees associated with LSAT, such as, you know, the score preview that I was talking about and some more things. So make sure you check out the LSAT website for more details if you are interested in fee waivers. Okay, so the next thing I want to cover is how you can prepare for the LSAT. You guys, there are so many resources out there, okay? It's recommended for law students to take some form of LSAT prep course. Now, there's all sorts of different kind of courses, okay? There's self-study ones, self-guided ones, one-on-one, live classes, all sorts of things out there. Also, there are some free resources out there. If you check out the LSAT website, they do have some free study material resources for prepping for the LSAT. Now, like I said, there's a ton of LSAT prep courses out there. There's the Princeton Review, there's Kaplan, Khan Academy, MAGOOSH, LSAT Max. The list goes on, which I won't get into all of them. But I do want to talk to you guys about MAGOOSH, okay? MAGOOSH offers an LSAT prep course that I'm actually pretty impressed with, and I'm going to talk to you about a little bit. So I've been talking with MAGOOSH about the LSAT prep. They do know that a lot of my subscribers do want to go to law school and are either in the process of taking the LSAT or are going to be preparing to take the LSAT. So I've partnered with them to give you a free trial to their LSAT prep course, and one person will get a free LSAT prep course, okay? I'm really excited about this. I want to add value in you guys' lives, and I do think this will be helpful for a lot of you guys to just get an idea of what the prep course would look like, and for one of you guys to get a full prep course for free, okay? So let's talk about it. So the first thing I want to say is MAGOOSH did give me access to their prep course. So I have signed up with their LSAT prep course and gone through all of the things that they have in there, gone through their dashboard, their practice exams, their videos, just gotten a feel for what the prep course entails so I can accurately speak to it, okay? Now, I will say, it did not bring back good memories for me with respect to studying for the LSAT when I signed in at first, but I did want to test it out just to be able to really speak to it to make sure it would actually be helpful for you guys. Okay, so the MAGOOSH LSAT prep course is a completely online prep course. It's one of those no frills programs that does what needs to be done, okay, for you to do well on the exam. One thing I like about the platform they use is it's really easy to navigate, really simple. In my opinion, it would be ideal for someone who is kind of a self-starter and who wants to do self-study and who wants to save some coins, okay? Because that is the number one thing about this course. It gives you bang for your buck, okay? There's a lot of information, a lot of resources packed in this course, and it is the most affordable course that I've seen out there. Way less than some of your big name courses that you would hear about, but I think it still adds same or similar value. Magoosh offers two types of courses. They have a 1 month and a 12 month. I would say go with the 12 month. Obviously, who's going to study in 1 month? Nobody. I think the 12 month is just, you know, maybe like 20 or 30 bucks more. I'll put the link to the website with the exact pricing, but you guys are going to be impressed because it's very affordable. One thing that I wanted to mention about the platform is it's pretty interactive. So as you go through the modules or as you go through, you know, the lessons, it will suggest things based on your progress within the platform, within the program. So I really, really like that because it's helpful to make sure you're working on things that you need to focus on. Like you have certain focus areas. Like for me, it would be logic games that I probably needed more practice on rather than reading comprehension, which is kind of my thing. So one thing that I mentioned before is kind of no frills. So the video courses are your standard video courses. It's kind of like similar to a PowerPoint slide with information on there and you watch it like that. There's no live instructions or anything like that. So if you need that, this might not be the best course for you. But if you're all about, you know, just studying, getting through it, learning, and really just getting what you need, this will be ideal. With respect to practice, the practice questions, all of the practice questions and the practice exams are from previous LSATs, okay? There are no kind of fake made up questions here. It's all LSAT questions, which I really, really like. I mean, I think it's important to get a feel for what the actual real questions are on the exam. Another thing is there is a score increase guarantee. So if you've taken the LSAT already and you sign up for Magoosh, if you don't get at least a 5-point increase in your score, you can't get your money back. They also have a general refund policy. So if you sign up and within 7 days, you're like, this isn't for me, you can get a refund as well. Okay, so I've told you a bunch of things about Magoosh, mostly good, some kind of things you might want to consider, just to go over those things to consider again, because this is important, you guys. I don't want you to just sign up for something that won't be good for you. I really do think that this program is a really great program and will be helpful for you guys who need an affordable option and who really want to hunker down and study. However, if you're a person that needs live or one-on-one tutoring, they do not have that, okay? They do have an option where you can email someone and ask questions, but it's not one-on-one tutoring like some people feel like they need. Another thing is some of the extras you might see in your Kaplan or Princeton review just won't be there, again, because this is a more affordable option. So you're not gonna have an in-person simulated LSAT prep exam like you would with your Kaplan or Princeton review. However, you will still have access to previous LSAT exams that you can take and simulate on your own. Lastly, if you're a person who needs books, if you need to mark things up, this will not be the course for you because there are no physical books. Everything is online and digital, okay? So for you guys who are interested in trying out Magoosh, I will leave the links down below. All right, so let's get to the giveaway. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm gonna be giving you guys a link to try a 7-day trial of Magoosh, and one person will win a free LSAT prep course with Magoosh if you enter the giveaway, okay? So let me give you the details on the giveaway. In order to enter in the giveaway, you do have to sign up for the 7-day free trial for Magoosh. I will leave the information in my description box. Signing up with that link will give you a week of access to some practice questions and strategy sessions so you can get a feel for what it offers. It's important that you do sign up for that if you do want to enter in the giveaway, because that's how we will track who signed up and pick a winner from there. Then the second thing you have to do is subscribe to my channel. The third thing you have to do is comment down below and let me know that you're going to sign up, or let me know why you want to win the LSAT prep course. And then the last thing is follow me on Instagram at _theaspiringboss. The giveaway will last for about 10 days. The winner will be randomly picked. Once the winner is picked, I will contact you and you will be signed up for your free LSAT prep course with Magoosh. You guys, I'm really, really excited about this. I really do hope you try the trial to just see how the prep course is. I'm rooting for all of you guys who are about to start prepping for the LSAT or who are currently prepping for the LSAT. I know it's not easy. Trust me, I've been there. You will get through it. If you do decide to go with Magoosh for your LSAT prep course and you're not the giveaway winner, like you sign up on your own, you can get 10% off using my code down below. Please note that that is an affiliate link, so I could get a bit of a commission from that. Just want to be transparent with you guys. I did make sure to give you guys what I believe are the pros and cons of Magoosh, so no pressure. If you think it'll be good for you and you like the affordable price, go ahead and try it out. I really hope this video was helpful with respect to learning a little bit more about the LSAT and the process and how everything works. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, you guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, help your girl out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.